Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining today's webcast about importing feature models and variants to pure variants. My name is Robert Hellebrand. I will be your moderator today. And with me I have Kavya Patel, who is our presenter today. Um, Kavya is a field application engineer at Pure Systems and will get you some insight into how to import feature models and variants. Before we start, you can find all of our upcoming webcasts on our website. All webcasts are recorded and uploaded afterwards to the Pure Systems YouTube channel, where you can also watch them. And if you have any questions during this webcast, you can post them at any time in the chat system. Only our webcast team will be able to see your questions, and we will collect and cover your questions and answer them at the end of the webcast in a Q&A session. If there should be too many questions, we will follow up after this webcast. With that, I will now hand over to Kaila.
Yes, thank you, Robert, for the introduction. And yes, welcome again, everyone, from my side as well. In today's session, I want to talk about the import functionality of Pure Variants tool for Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. So, what do we expect in today's session? Before getting into the topic any further, I would like to reason out why we need anything like this import functionality and what is the motivation behind it. I will further cover the area which will clear the concept of the topic, and then we will have the demonstration. Finally, we will end our session with the Q&A in case any one of you have any questions regarding today's topic. So let's start by asking the question why and when is import of feature models and variant models needed? And to answer this question, we have when the engineering team identifies the need for better and dedicated variant management as compared to Excel list. When we already have features and variants listed, but not in pure variants tool, but in Excel or any other requirements management tool. Also, we can save our time during transferring data into pure variants, and managing the product line on pure variants and continue doing so in future can also help to identify the motive, to reason out the motivation. Another question that come along with the reason that what is all that will come along with this approach. So the meaning of better variant management means we have dependencies between features, impact of features on reuse of engineering assets across tools, validation of feature selection should be supported to answer the question, is this a valid variant configuration? And to extend the question a little further, if a variant configuration is updated over time, then asking, is this a valid change of the variant configuration? Another point to add here would be that initial input of feature lists to pure variants when starting with variant management can stem, for example, from Excel or requirements management tool with Excel or .csv files. And also we can avoid having to create all of those features manually in pure variants again. For the concept of the topic, I will navigate you to the actual process of how the import functionality works in Pure Variants Eclipse client, and also to do so, what all prerequisites need to be taken care of in Excel spreadsheet will be covered. So there are few steps to assure that the import is successful, and we start with first getting features and variants into Excel. So this step comes with two perspective. First, we have already our features and variants listed in Excel sheet, but they need a little more alteration. They need little more editing to make it perfect and compatible for the pure variants import compatible, Excel import compatible. So in that sense, this particular step would become optional. But with the second perspective, when we don't have the features or variants listed into Excel, but we have it listed somewhere else, for example, in any requirements management tool or any informal listing for, let's say that would be any text editor tools. then this step has to be done mandatory. So these two perspective have to be taken care of as first step. Then we move forward to transforming the data sheet into pure variance compatible. Here we can see that we will take care of titling of feature column and titling of variant columns. These two steps are mandatory steps. And also the mandatory step is marking the features according to the variants. In here we have multiple further steps, which includes first marking the selection of that particular feature to the corresponding variant, and that can be done by putting x in the middle of the cell. Now if we want to put manual exclusion in our excel import in pure variance, then we can do that also, and that can be achieved by putting minus sign in the middle of the cell. Also, when the cell is kept blank or empty, that means that the feature is deselected for that corresponding variant. Here the last two steps are optional and only required when we need to take care of variant import, variant model import. Now we move forward and we prepare our excel data for import. Here we adding range names, that is mandatory step. We add the range of columns and rows, and the reason of doing is to make pure variants recognize that which column consists features and which column represent different variants during the import. Then we have to add variation type information, and that step could be optional. That why this step is so that if this is not done, for example, as said that this is optional step, and if this step is not performed, then you will have all the features listed in the excel spreadsheet of the type optional when you import the feature list into pure variants by default. And then lastly we have this introducing hierarchical information step. Again this step is optional. This also can be alternatively altered late in pure variants once the excel import has been performed. And finally we have achieved our intention here, which is triggering the import successfully. Doing it so we can import features and variants, both the models, and that can be imported in pure variants with this excel import. So far we have seen all these things conceptually. Now we will look all those mentioned steps practically with the help of a demonstration. We will first get ourselves familiar with preparing the Excel datasheet and making it compatible for the import to pure variants. In it, we will look into all the prior mentioned points important to make the datasheet pure variants compatible. That includes how to name ranges, how to add the hierarchical information to showcase the parent and child relationship, and also how to mark listed features to the corresponding variants having inclusive and exclusive functionalities. Then on the next part of the demo, we will see how to make use of import functionality of pure variants in the pure variants Eclipse client and get to know the Excel import wizard. With that said, let's jump into the demonstration. So this is the pure variants compatible Excel datasheet, which needs to be taken care of as one of the prerequisites. Here, first step is to add hierarchical information that can be seen here, that we first add the hierarchical information in this column with the help of line breaking in particular cell. This can be done by pressing Alt plus Enter buttons in your keyboard. This step can be done optionally. If you want to have all the features at one level in the sheet and import the list as it is without any hierarchy, and then change the level in pure variants after the import, that is also possible. In case already existing datasheet consists many layers and huge number of features, and introducing hierarchy here at the same time seems more work, then the alternative option can be taken care of, and doing it so is the same in pure variants is possible. So now let's see how that can be performed. First we click onto the particular cell. Here as can be seen in cell A4, we have beam configuration, and underneath beam configuration we are adding a functionality of line breaking, and then we are creating a new feature. That feature will become low child feature to beam configuration. So here beam configuration would serve the purpose of parent feature, and low beam would be serve the purpose of a child feature to the parent feature. Here we are introducing three level of hierarchies. First level is level 1, then we have level 1.1, and then we have level 1.1.1 and 1.1.2. As can be seen from cell A3, that we have only level 1 hierarchy at beam configuration feature. Then when we want to achieve parent child relationship to beam configuration, we are introducing another level of hierarchy, and that is 1.1. By doing so, we are creating another feature, and that is low beam to the beam configuration. Now let's say we want another feature which again introduces another one level more into the hierarchical structure. So in that case, we are again using the line breaking after the low beam, and as can be seen from cell A5 and A6, we are introducing two different unique features here, which are xenon and halogen. So by doing it, so we can see that uh, cell A5 and A6 are of a hierarchical structure level 1.1.1 and level 1.1.2. So then, as a part of transforming the Excel sheet to pure variance compatible, the second step is to name the ranges of listed items. In our case, that could be features, variants, and the variation types, among which the variation types is optional to name range. And as the final step for preparing the sheet is to mark features according to the respective variant. Let's have a look into this demonstration. So what we do here first is we select the entire range starting from the first feature till the last feature, and then we name the selected range to features. Here, please be careful by not selecting the title of this particular feature column. In the next part, we will select only the titles of three different variant columns, and then we again doing it so, and we name this selected range to variants. And as earlier said, that this step of adding the name range to variation type column is optional. This can again be done afterwards when the Excel import has been performed, but here we recommend you to do it in Excel import only. Now, as the last step, we have to mark all the features for the corresponding variants. And by doing it so, we can see, as mentioned earlier in conceptual slide, that we have to put either X or minus sign in the middle of the cell. So by doing it so, we are telling the pure variants during the import that this particular feature is part of the variant, or uh, is sharing the manual exclusion relationship to the variant. Also, some of the cells can be seen here are kept empty, which means that these particular features are not part of those corresponding variants which are having blank cells. So now once you are finished preparing the Excel part of the import, we will have a look into the Excel import wizard in Pure Variants Eclipse client. First, we create a variant project in the variant projects view by right clicking in the empty space. Now we have to name the project, and that can be anything based on the need of the project. And then after naming it, we keep the project type to empty. Then we again right click on the newly created Excel input project and select the option of import. We can see here, we again select the variant models or projects, and we can see all the available import functionalities that Pure Variants offer. By clicking the Excel import in the next wizard, we write the name of the model which we want to have as our feature model, and then we select the source file in which we already have made all the changes and edited everything according to the Excel compatibility, Pure Variants compatibility. And then in our Excel import settings, we can see that which name range we have already selected and we have already named are already marked here. That, for example, what is the name range of variants, then that is variants. Name range of the features, a feature column, that is features. And name range of the variation type column, and that is types. We have this selection functional selection option for X, and the manual exclusion option for minus sign. By doing it, so we can see that now the uh, feature model has been imported from Excel spreadsheet, and we can see here the demo variants.xfm, a new file has been created. That file is nothing but the feature model, and by double clicking onto that file, we can open the feature model in our main workspace. We can now expand our feature model by right clicking into the demo variants, that is root feature, and then expand all. Here, by doing it, so we can see all features which are already available in Excel list are being imported here. Then on the last part, we have this variants configuration folder named variants. This variants folder consists all the available variant option that we have already name range in Excel spreadsheet. For example, we have here a Baselight Denmark, Baselight EMEA, and Baselight Mexico. Now, in here, we will check if the imported feature and variant models are valid. To do that, we will double click on the variants folder and open all the variants model in a matrix view. In the matrix view, we can again expand the matrix view by right clicking and right clicking and selecting the option expand all. Here we can see all our features are selected or manually excluded as per mentioned and as per stated in our Excel spreadsheet. One thing to note here, that we have this error marker in front of the feature named Xenon. Why is this so? So this is the functionality of Pure Variants to let the user know that this part of the feature model or the variant model, this part of the variant model needs further changes or needs a user's attention. This is because this xenon feature and halogen features, they are both alternative features, and they should among these alternative features only one needs to be selected. But instead of only one selection, here both the features are selected. So as a point where we need to check if our feature model, or if our feature model is perfect imported correctly, and if our variant model is configured correctly, pure variants offer this functionality as well, to let user know that a particular feature in the variant variant model needs to be corrected. Now, as we have already seen the Excel import functionality, we will have a brief overview of what all other import functionalities Pure Variants offer. So We have multiple available import functionalities, and to start with, we have first the CSV import functionality, that is import from any requirements management tool like tools like IBM Doors, that could be Doors Classics, or that could be Doors Next Generation, that could be Code Beamer, and so on. Then we have Excel import. We just demonstrated that one, and it covers the most important needs. Next, we offer AutoSAR import and export functionality. Since version 4.x, the AutoSAR standard also includes a variant management concept that we mapped to feature models and variant models on pure variant side. This way, you can import your feature models and variant models according to AutoSAR models, and you can export such models from pure variants to AutoSAR as well. And finally, we offer custom imports via import scripts, which uses public PV API to create a feature model and variant models via script from any source. And this could be database, text file, XML file, or custom Excel format. If you are interested in further details about other approaches, please contact us. We will be happy to arrange a meeting. Now, to summarize today's webcast, what all we have learned so far, or what we have seen is in this webinar, is first we have prepared our Excel spreadsheet to make it compatible for import purpose to pure variants. What we have done to make it compatible, and how we made the Excel spreadsheet prepared for Excel import, and we followed some steps that are these are named ranges. Then we also added hierarchical option structure into the Excel spreadsheet, and we also added variation type information. Then we triggered the import in pure variants with the help of Excel import wizard in pure variants. And then finally, we analyzed the variants. If the particular variants which are already being imported from Excel uh, are in a valid state or not in pure variants matrix view. You can find more concrete examples and videos of this kind in our webcast recordings on our YouTube channel. Just search Pure Minus Systems in YouTube, and you can find all the past recordings there. With that said, I think it's time for our Q&A session. So I am handing it back to Robert.
Thanks, Kaible. And there is actually one question, which is where can I find documentation for creating a custom import script?
So we have a PV JavaScript guide that comes with the API documentation and even contains some code snippets as a good starting point. So we will put the link of it in the video description so that anyone can access it after this webinar.
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, there are no more additional questions. So with that, we will end the meeting. Thank you for participating. Hope the content was helpful for you, and we are looking forward to see you again in future webcasts. Thanks and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.